What's up everyone, it's my Chua and welcome back to my channel. I am back today with another reading vlog on this book called Addicted for Now. And so if you're interested in knowing my thoughts on this book, then continue on watching. This is the third book of the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series, okay? So I did make two reading vlogs for the first and the second book to the series as well, and I will link them down in the description. Definitely check out those videos before watching this one so that there are no spoilers going into this video. Just a little recap from the end of the second book, right? So we know that Lily is currently in contact with this therapist to work on her addiction, and Lo was at rehab for like a good 2 or 3 months, I believe, right? And so from there we find out that they are going to be reunited in this book, and I am extremely excited to see how much things have changed, or if anything has changed at all between them, right? And how they will come together and work out this addiction. I do feel like I'm just repeating myself throughout all of these vlogs, right? But the first 3 books really do just focus on their addictions, okay? And so I'm excited to see if there's going to be anything interesting that happens in this third book. It's actually a pretty thick book, and so it was thicker than the first book, and I think this is like a 500-page book, okay? Just an FYI, I did start reading this book already, okay? And I got to like 100 pages or so in, but I just didn't have any time to really sit down and talk about it until now. So just so you know, I'm not starting from square one. I also did start tabbing my books and annotating in them as well. So before, I was like highlighting certain lines and kind of writing in my books, but I didn't have like these really pretty tabs with me, and I bought like this whole package with it too. Like, this is one of the tabs that I have here with me, and I got special highlighters for my books, and so I am excited to start annotating more. Alright, so just from what I read so far, Lo and Lily do reunite in the first chapter, and you can feel all of the tension, all of the longing for each other in just that scene. So now Lo is arranged to live with Lily and Rose, right, at their apartment. This is going to be the first time that Lily and Lo actually share a bedroom together, right? So if you remember from the first book, when they were living together, they actually had separate rooms. And so at the back of Lily's mind, she's just like, how the fuck am I gonna control my compulsions? How the fuck am I gonna sleep next to him and not try to do something to him? And so this is something that she's gonna be struggling with. After the whole reunion and catching up on each other's lives and everything, something does happen, okay? And I am trying to look at my notes and everything, trying to remember what I can from this book. And so somebody actually texts Lo, and this person is anonymous, and he or she pretty much is saying that I know your girlfriend's dirty little secrets, okay, and I am going to expose you. And so this whole plot point is kind of like them trying to figure out who this guy is. I can't remember if I mentioned this in my reading vlog or not, but in the second book, when Lily and her sisters had to attend this banquet for their father, for like a grand opening or something, her mom had actually set them all on dates, okay? So Lily's date happened to be this guy that hated Lo, okay? I think he hated him like throughout high school or something. Something had happened, so he hated him. And through all of that, Reich had to step in and kind of help Lily out of the situation. So right off the top of Lo's head, he's just like, this guy did try to come at me once through Lily, right? So I am thinking it is this guy. And I'm saying that because I don't know his name, so I'm just calling him this guy for now. Lo ends up going to this guy's house, and Reich is there as well, right? And so he's just trying to threaten this guy, kind of make him scared and everything, trying to make him confess if it was him or not. But Reich is just like, hey, I don't think this is the guy we're looking for, because he is obviously scared shitless, and I don't think he will ever do anything to you anymore. So now they have no clue who this anonymous person is, right? And now they're meeting with everyone, kind of trying to figure out ways to find this person. Connor volunteers to find this private investigator, right? So that they can try to track down the phone number and to see where it's coming from, right? And so Lily says, I'll pay you back, I tell Connor, and he says, I prefer favors. So in Lily's mind, she's just like, okay, that sounds sexual. When I think of favors, I picture blowjobs. And so everybody knows what she's thinking, right? And she's just like, I point to Connor accusingly. He said it, not me. I wasn't talking about sexual favors, Connor refutes calmly. And Lily's just like, hello, I'm a sex addict here. If you say something like that, I'm obviously gonna automatically think it's sexual, okay? So this girl, she needs help. Alright, so I'm back with some updates, and I did get through like a whole chunk of reading, right? And so I've made notes about the things I wanted to talk about. First off, we're introduced to Sebastian, right? And he is currently Lily's new tutor. And we also find out that he is Rose's best friend, and he's gay, and he's very, very sus, okay? He doesn't like Connor and Rose, specifically Connor, right? In this one scene, Connor sends Rose some flowers, right? And he has it in this very unique vase or something. And he's trying to apologize her and kind of get her to stop being upset at him for something that he did. Pretty much, Rose did destroy the flowers, but she decided to keep the vase, and Sebastian sees this, and while Rose is in the other room, he decides to trash the vase, right? Connor ends up coming over, and he's like, I see that you trashed the flowers. Did you also throw away the vase? And Rose is just like, no, the vase should be right here. But it's not, because Sebastian threw it in the trash. So now she's kind of like picking up all of the pieces, the broken pieces and everything, and she just feels really bad about it, right? This is in Lily's point of view, right? And it says, he comes behind her and whispers in her ear. When his voice grows, I catch the syllables, but I don't understand the words. He is speaking French to her. And he gives her this little kiss on the forehead, and I just thought that was the cutest scene ever. Next, there's this scene where Lily and Flo are in this parking lot, right? And they're trying to go home, but this guy approaches Lily, and he's like, hey Lily, I remember you. Do you remember me? This guy is Mason, okay? And he apparently had a one-night stand with Lily before. He's pretty much trying to ask her, do you want to hang out again, while Lo is there. Lo, on the other hand, is obviously furious, right? He's just like, hey, no, she is taken. She's my girlfriend now. And so the guy's just like, but that's never really stopped her before. I mean, what's the difference? As this whole scene is going on, we notice that Lily kind of just cowers behind Lo, right? And I'm just like, I feel like if she were to say something, there wouldn't have been an issue at all. If she were to step up and just say that she's no longer hooking up with random people, then I feel like, you know, things would have been solved. So I'm seeing that Lily is very like, what's the word? Like, she's not confident, okay? But I do wish that she will eventually build her confidence level, and I'm hoping to see this by the end of this book as well. Next, I have this scene where Lily is washing her hair like over the sink, right? In their bathroom sink. And Lo sees this, and he comes and kind of just helps her wash her hair, and he's like behind her or whatever. So she's obviously aroused, she's obviously turned on by this. And she's just like, how are you not turned on by this? And this is what it says. He tilts my chin with his finger, and I look back up into his eyes. I spent 3 years as your fake boyfriend, he says. I've had practice resisting you. Just the things that Lo says, it just gets you like swooning over him, okay? Another Rose and Connor moment, okay? So they're bantering about something, obviously, and then it says, she looks like she wants to slap him. Why are we dating? And he responds, because I asked you out and you said yes, and you're madly in love with me. And she says, I never said such a thing. Can you tell that I am just so ready for their book? There's so many like cute moments with Rose and Connor in this book. So let's talk about the issue at hand, okay? Throughout the book, we know that there's this guy who is threatening Lo, right? And he's pretty much saying, you know, all of these things to him, texting him and saying that he will expose Lily's secrets. But now we find out that Lily has actually been receiving these texts as well. And she didn't really directly tell Lo about this, right? At this point, Lo is like, things are getting pretty serious now, right? And they aren't able to track down this person. So the only person he can think about to help him is, of course, his dad. So he does eventually ask his dad for help. So pretty much she confesses Lily's whole like addiction and everything. Of course, his father's being the dick that he always is, but he's just like, at this point, I need your help. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like it's very hard to summarize this book, okay? Because there's like a lot of things happening, yet there's like nothing really going on at all, okay? What I mean by that is that there's a lot lot of little things happening in this book, right? But it's not like significant to the plot, I guess. Because this is such a character-driven book, we pretty much are just, you know, following Lily and Lo's journey, okay? There's a lot of scenes where they are slipping up, and like there's a lot of scenes where they're pulled to do things that are affecting their addiction, right? And so is there really like a solution to these plots? There's not been one that I've seen yet. And so I guess this is why I'm kind of just sharing all of the cute moments that I see and not really anything with the plot. Alright, so where I am currently at is on part 2. Okay, so this book, it looks like it's split into like 3 parts. Part 1 ends when Lo asks his dad for help, okay, on their whole, you know, issue going on. And part 2, I am not completely done with it, but I am through most of it. Actually, you know what? I think it makes more sense for me to finish up part 2 and then give you another status update on this, okay? So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Once I do that, I will hop back on and update you. So, yeah, see you in a bit. Let's talk. Okay, so a lot of things have happened from where I left off, okay? I did get past part 2 and I am currently in the middle of part 3, and so I think I only have like a good 100 or so pages left to go in this book. Just a little recap on part 2, right? So we have our group of friends and they are going to Mexico for spring break. So they are there for only like a week or so, but a lot of things happened in between as well. We obviously have Lily and Lo, Rose and Connor, and Reich, right? And Reich did bring a +1 as well. On this trip, they lose like a lot of their items, right? Well, it actually gets stolen from them. And so they are left with pretty much only what they have on themselves. And as they get there, when they're trying to check in for their rooms, they actually don't get the rooms that they're supposed to get. So now they are all stuck in one room together. This is obviously a problem for Lily, right? It's because she's just like, now that we are sharing this whole space, how are we going to have our alone time? How are we going to have our intimate time? So with the circumstances, it's pretty much like a test for Lily. Can she survive one whole week without having sex with Lo or doing anything intimate with him? Okay. On the first date there, somebody actually shows up unexpectedly, right? And that is Daisy, okay? So Daisy shows up with all of these things. She has all of the essentials and she bought clothes for everybody, swimming suits and everything that they didn't have. And so now we have the core 6 and Reich's +1, who is Melissa. So throughout the whole trip, pretty much, we get these little scenes of them, you know, just hanging out, having a good time, some tension here, some tension there, right? One thing that becomes kind of sort of an issue is that Daisy and Reich are very openly flirting with each other. And so we know that from Lily's point of view, she already thinks that there's something going on with them, okay? She's just like, that's my little sister, she's only 16 and you are so much older than her, why are you flirting with my sister? But we know that Daisy and Reich are both very, very open people. They like openly talk about sex, they openly talk about, you know, all of these intimate stuff. On Lo's point of view, we also see that he notices this, right? And he's obviously not happy about it too. He's just like, why is my half brother trying to flirt with my girlfriend's younger sister, you know? And I guess growing up, he always thought of Daisy as, you know, his younger sister as well. So he gets a little protective over that and a little triggered that Reich is flirting with her. Lily and Lo do have a conversation about this at one point, right? And they're just always aware that Reich and Daisy are together and that they're flirting with each other, and so they're trying their best to separate the two. But they're both starting to realize that the more you're trying to pull two people away from each other, the more they're likely to gravitate towards each other. So it's kind of like that forbidden aspect, right? Where it's just like, if somebody says that you can't have this, you kind of want it even more, right? And so that's kind of the situation that is going on right now. So like I said, there's like a lot of bits and pieces to this whole vacation that happens, right? But it's not anything very like heavy on the plot or anything like that, or very significant to the plot. I do want to point out that at one point, Lily and Rose and Connor were shopping together at the mall or something, right? And Lily somehow had an orgasm, and they said that this was kind of like the stimulation of the brain or something. Like, she didn't like masturbate or anything like that, but she did like imagine things, and just from that alone she was able to orgasm in public. And so she feels very, very ashamed of herself, and she's just like, you know, what the hell is wrong with me? Moving on to the plot, right? So as they are all flying back home, they're currently on the plane right now. Lily is currently scrolling through like the channels on the TV or whatever, right? And she sees something and notices that her secret has been revealed to the public. Obviously, this is like a whole big shocking scene for Lily, and she gets very, very emotional. At this point, Daisy didn't even know, so this is how Daisy finds out about it and how the rest of the world finds out about her secret. As they get home, they notice that there are like paparazzis and news reporters everywhere, right? And so they do decide to go stay with Reich for the time being. They're trying to sort things out. They're having a lot of conversations, and at one point Lo pretty much opened up about Lily, right? And Lily's like sleeping at this point, so he's kind of explaining to everybody. He's just like, you know, something had triggered this addiction of hers. He's kind of having a conversation with Rose and Daisy, right? He's just like, why has your mother always let Lily come stay in my place when we were younger? Lo is trying to point out that Lily has always been the neglected child, right? Like, she's always been able to do everything that she wants, and nobody really cared what she did. Rose, Poppy, and Daisy, they were always given expectations. They always had their mother trying to put them in activities, but Lily was the odd one out, and she just pretty much, you know, didn't have that mother in her life that would really care about what she did. So pretty much what Lo's trying to say is that because their mother never gave her the attention that she needed, she sought this attention from men and getting this high from them, right? Feeling some kind of emotion or feeling, right? And so I guess that's kind of what triggered her addiction. Lo is feeling guilty, right? He feels like it's his fault for enabling her as well. It's his fault for allowing her to stay over as long as she wanted to, that he should have been the person who sent her home. But obviously at the time he was, you know, still very young. He was, you know, still dealing with his own addiction as well. After like a whole week long of avoiding the public, avoiding the media, Lily finally decides to go home, right? And so she's trying to talk to her parents, but obviously there are like lawyers there. They're trying to figure out a situation. They're trying to figure out how to solve this problem in front of the public and everything like that. There was this one scene where she approached her mom and she's just trying to apologize. And her mom was very, very cruel, okay? Her mom was pretty much saying like, you are such a disgusting person. I cannot believe that you would do this or that or whatever. So she's just, you know, disappointed in Lily in general. Lily's in shock about this, right? And she obviously already feels so guilty. She feels so disappointed in herself, mainly. With everything going on, they both eventually go back to Lo's father's place, right? So he's just like, okay, we've been talking with the lawyers. We've been coming up with this plan, and we have the solution for you, right? So you have to do these 3 things. Number 1, you will publicly apologize during a press conference, right? Number 2, you'll start seeing a psychiatrist that your parents will pick out for you. And then number 3, you both will get married within a year. Okay, so he kind of just pops this out of nowhere, and they're both just like, what the hell? Like, we're not ready for this. Eventually Lily's just like, you know, if I have to do it, then I will try to do everything that I can to help my family and everything, right? So she's like, I'll do it if you agree to it. Lo is just like, you know, I would marry you tomorrow if that makes you happy. And so things are going to work out, okay? That's pretty much where I am at this point, right? And so I will update you probably after I finish the whole book and give you my thoughts from there. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I am officially done with this book, and there was a lot of things that happened within just the past few chapters, right? Everything just happened so quickly, and so I think because it was the end of the book, it was a little bit rushed, but things were revealed and everything like that too. So let's get into the details. This is like a month or so after they met with Lo's father for like the whole solution. They are kind of coping with the whole situation and everything. I do want to take a minute to talk about Lo. From the previous chapters, he did find out his mother's name and her address and everything, so he's building up this courage to like meet her for the first time. He does show up unannounced at her doorstep, right? And she does recognize him right away too, but apparently she doesn't want anything to do with him, and she did confess that she wanted to abort him, but obviously his dad didn't let her. And so there was a whole heartbreaking scene in here. I felt so bad for him, but I guess that was kind of the closure that he needed from his mom. On the other hand, Lily has her own situation going on, right? And I think this was like just a chapter after Lo's, and she meets with her psychiatrist. This is not the first time, but this is the first time she's meeting him alone. He pretty much like sexually harassed her, right? But thankfully she had her bodyguard there to come and help her. So next, we finally get the reveal on who this person was that was like texting both of them. And I didn't see this coming at all, right? Like this person was not even like a suspect for me. Honestly, I thought it was a little bit random, right? How this person was kind of thrown into the mix. I mean, it made sense why this person did the things that they did, right? But I just thought it didn't really fit in with the whole story. So although I didn't suspect this person, it wasn't really shocking to me. Like it wasn't like a big reveal. So this person, the one who was harassing them and sending them all of those texts, it was actually Reich's mother, right? So Sarah Hale. She just did all of this pretty much to like mess with their father. I know I'm moving like really fast with all of these events, but that's pretty much how quickly like everything came up as well. And so pretty much at the end, we were just given everything at once, and then it was the end. This book was definitely a journey, right? And I loved a lot of parts in this book as well. I didn't feel like very attached to the storyline or the plot, but the characters are definitely growing on me, and we are seeing a lot of their character developments in this story. And so with that said, I'm rating this one 4 stars. That was all I really wanted to say about the book. I can't wait to read the next book, which is called Thrive, and I believe that still follows Lily and Lo, and then after that it will be Rose and Connor's story, which I am very excited for. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching my video. As always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.